Today, we're diving into the absolutely chilling crime spree of a man named Wade Wilson. It's a story about how escalating violence can slip right through the cracks of the justice system and lead to truly deadly consequences. It's a terrifying question. And in this case, it's not just some hypothetical. This entire story hinges on a massive failure, a moment when a clear and present danger was documented, reported, and then, almost unbelievably, just ignored. To really understand what happened, we can't start at the end. We have to go back several months to a warning sign that was so violent, so blatant, it's honestly hard to wrap your head around how it was overlooked. So it's February 18th, 2019. An argument between Wade and his girlfriend at the time, Kelly, just completely explodes into a nightmare. He kidnaps her, literally forces her into the trunk of her own car, and starts driving. For 3.5 hours, he drives down to the Florida Keys. He only lets her go at 4 in the morning because he had arranged to meet up with another woman. And what she went through during that drive is just unimaginable. He bound her with her own clothes, gagged her, beat her, and sexually assaulted her. At one point, he even slammed the trunk lid on her foot, breaking it. And get this, while she's trapped in the trunk, he's driving recklessly down the highway and has the nerve to stop at a McDonald's drive-thru for food. And you have to understand, this wasn't just some spontaneous, angry outburst. Oh no, this was calculated. He deliberately disabled the car's emergency OnStar system so she couldn't call for help. Then he stole her phone and sold it for crack cocaine. This shows a level of cold planning that is just deeply disturbing. So after this absolute nightmare, Kelly does everything you're supposed to do. She goes straight to the authorities. She wants justice. But what she got instead was a system that was about to fail her completely. She went right to a hospital, and the medical staff documented everything. The cuts on her wrists from being tied up, bite marks on her face, a busted lip. They even completed a full sexual assault kit. The evidence was right there. Physical, clear, and undeniable. So when the police finally question Wade Wilson, his excuse is just as pathetic as it is insulting. He claims the only reason he tied Kelly up in the trunk of the car was because she was, and I'm quoting him here, into that kind of thing. Just a total dismissal of the hell he put her through. And right here, this is the moment that changes everything. The police department decided to make the case inactive. Their reason? No witnesses and no evidence. Can you believe that? They somehow lost the photos they took at the hospital. All that physical proof of what happened to Kelly just vanished from their records. Okay, so let's fast forward to October of 2019. With absolutely zero legal consequences for what he did to Kelly, all of Wade Wilson's unchecked violence is about to explode into a full-blown, deadly spree. It all kicks off on October 6th. Wade's out at a club with his new girlfriend, Melissa. He starts talking to some guy named Jason Shepard and decides he wants to go hang out at his place. Well, Melissa says no, she doesn't want to go. So what does Wade do? He just steals her car and leaves her there. A little while later, he meets up with 2 other women, Christine Melton and her friend Stephanie Johnson. Right off the bat, he's lying, introducing himself by a fake name, Junior. He and Christine apparently hit it off, and he ends up spending the night with her. But the next morning, things get a little weird. He's really struggling to drive Melissa's car because it's a manual, which ends up delaying their trip back to Christine's place. And this is it. This is the moment where the chaos from the night before curdles into something truly evil and irreversible. As soon as Christine's friend Stephanie leaves for the day, something happens. We don't know exactly what the trigger was, but we know the result. Wade Wilson strangled Christine Melton to death. And what he does next is just so methodical, it's chilling. He ties Christine up with her own clothes, the exact same thing he did to Kelly months earlier. Then, he ditches Melissa's car, since he can't drive it well, and steals Christine's Nissan Versa. And his very next move? He starts calling his girlfriend, Melissa. So after a big fight on the phone about the stolen car, Wade drives Christine's car straight to Melissa's job. He tries to drag her into the Nissan, and when she fights back, he tackles her, beats her, and chokes her, dragging her up a flight of stairs and pinning her to a wall by her throat. He punched her so hard, she started to bleed, a lot. And seeing the blood seemed to give him this weird moment of pause, like a flicker of clarity in all his rage. That split second was all Melissa needed. She ducked under his arm, ran for it, and managed to lock herself in a room. Wade took off. But he wasn't done, not by a long shot. After running from the attack on Melissa, he gets back in that stolen car and just keeps driving. What happens next would be the final, tragic chapter of his rampage. Sometime that morning, while he's driving through Cape Coral, he sees a woman named Diane Ruiz. She was just walking to her job, minding her own business, with absolutely no idea of the danger that was driving right towards her.
Wade pulls the car over, and the whole thing starts so normally, so innocently. He just asks for directions, something any of us might do for a stranger.
But it didn't stop there. Using some excuse, some lie, some twisted charm, he convinced Diane to actually get into the car with him, supposedly to help him find his way. And she agreed. And that's where the confirmed timeline just stops, leaving us with this final, absolutely horrifying question. Diane Ruiz got into a car with a man who had already murdered one woman and brutally attacked another in the span of just a few hours. What happened in those moments after she closed that car door?